Many of us would like to live a long and healthy life. That's the key, healthy life. So, we're going to do a series of practices that you can do in your life, those that you have control over, that will help you live longer and stay healthy. So, stay tuned. We got about nine. So, we're going to do 9 videos on practices that will help you live longer. So, you want to stay young, you want to stay healthy forever, right? Not always possible. It's a hot topic. Being an anti aging person, doctor, health coach, lifestyle coach, life coach is kind of a thing. It's a growing industry, and successful aging, an important area of health with a fast aging population. I'm a baby boomer, I'm 63, so I'm up in that range. About 671 million people worldwide are over the age of 60. So I'm not necessarily saying that this is just for people that are up in their 60s and beyond, because you can start these practices way early in your life and potentially slow down the process of aging. So, first, what is longevity? So, you want to live a long, productive life. But if you have chronic disease, that's kind of a difficult thing to do. So, disease seems to arrive with aging. People go to the doctors and they have symptoms and problems, and they'll get this. Well, you're just getting older. That's just the way it is. As you get older, you start getting sick. Well, reject that. That's stupid. So longevity is not about living longer or living as long as possible. You want to live the longest, healthiest life as possible, and you want to be free of chronic disease. So the term that's come up other than lifespan is health span. So living a healthy life span, health span, rather than how long you're going to live. Plenty of people live into their 90s and spend the last 8, 9, 10 years being sick and they can't do anything. That would drive me insane. So you really want to have a nice long health span. So that's more important than just how long are you going to live. So being healthy can mean different things to different people. Better definition of longevity may be to include being free from serious disease, having energy, being able to think, being physically mobile, being able to have mental acuity, and keeping your muscle mass and your strength. So you need a healthy body, you need a healthy mind. So it would be frustrating to have a really healthy body and lose your cognitive skills and kind of not know what's going on around you. So when you do things healthy for your body, your physical body, a lot of those actions can benefit your brain health. And we're going to see that with these little strategies we're going to talk about. My protocol that I utilize on pretty much everybody a health coach is called Shining. And the S, so it's the Shining Protocol. And the S is for sleep, maximizing sleep. And that is one of the first questions that we go over when I do an intake history on a health coaching client is how well are you sleeping? How long are you sleeping? Are you able to sleep through the night without getting up? How many times do you get up? What makes you get up? So many people think that sleep is kind of a luxurious thing. It's only for people that life's great and you can sleep well. And you can only catch up on sleep in the weekends when you're not working gargantuan amounts of hours. And you've been by then you're exhausted and you really can't catch up on sleep. People think, well, I'm going to catch up on my sleep on the weekend. Well, you should keep the same time pattern every day, whether you're working or not. So if you go to bed at 10 p.m. and you get up at 6, keep doing that on Saturday and Sunday. It will keep your circadian rhythm in balance. So sleep deprivation is epidemic. I hear it all the time. And so we're going to look at some studies, and I have a book for you to look at or read, buy, find, find a used book, borrow one that will put this all together. It's the first book that I've ever seen put all the research on sleep together and how it affects your health. So I'm going to show you that book. So let me share my screen. and I'll show you the book I'm talking about. I bought this 2 years ago, and I'll scroll down. It'll say you purchased a paperback edition January 30th, 2022. I guess I'm addicted to books. Why We Sleep, Unlocking the Power of Sleep and Dreams by Dr. Matthew Walker. He's a neuroscientist at UC Berkeley. And you can see the ratings on this book, 4.7 out of 30,000 ratings. So this book, it's an easy read. It sounds like it's going to be really scientific-y and all that, and it's not. And so he goes through all of the health benefits of a good night's sleep and shows you the studies that have shown that a poor night's sleep will affect your productivity the very next day. He kind of argues or goes through the debate of starting school at a later time, since teenagers need longer nights of sleep, like 10 hours of sleep. The argument, well, they're just going to stay up and play on YouTube or play video games till 2 in the morning. And it turns out in the communities that do that, that's not true. So I think there's a pretty good medical health reason to starting school not ever before maybe 9 a.m., especially in high school. Elementary school students don't need as much sleep. So we're going to go through some of the studies that are mentioned in this book or studies that I've found as well. So hold on one sec and I'll find my first study. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is what happens to your body weight. So this study is in a rural population, body mass index. Growing body of epidemiologic evidence suggests an association between short sleep duration and weight gain. So you can read, here's where you can find this study up here. So you can copy and paste that. And you go to any one of these studies I'm showing you. Here is the citation reference, Archives of Internal Medicine, 2006. So this hasn't been new. I mean, this is, what's that, 16, 17 years old, 18 years old. So these data support an association between short sleep duration and higher body mass index in this rural population, consistent with relationships found in other settings. Okay, so you don't sleep as well, you're probably going to gain weight. Okay, what about type 2 diabetes? So studies have shown that there's a worsening risk of type 2 diabetes with shorter sleep. So what do I mean by shorter sleep? That would be anything less than 7.5 hours. The sweet spot for sleep is about 7.5 to 8 hours. You can sleep too long. So in the Why We Sleep book, he talks about sleeping over 8 hours, 8.5, 9 hours, and how that's detrimental to your health as well. And sleeping less than 7 hours is detrimental to your health. So the sweet spot is about 7.5 to 8 hours. So in this population, African Americans with type 2 diabetes, here's the citation reference, Archives of Internal Medicine, 2006, same year again. Sleep duration and quality, significant predictors of a rise in hemoglobin A1C, the marker for part of the diagnostic criteria for type 2 diabetes. So there's, pause that so you can see that study. What about susceptibility to viral illness? Well, here's this one. It looks like I'm fixated on Archives of Internal Medicine. That's just what I found. So here's the reference, Archives of Internal Medicine, 2009, sleep habits and susceptibility to the common cold. So poorer sleep efficiency and shorter sleep duration in the weeks preceding exposure to a rhinovirus were associated with a lower resistance to illness. So important, thought to be an important predictor of immunity. So you're healing your body while you're sleeping. You're repairing damage. You're building up your immunity. You're forming memories. I tell my students all the time, cramming for tests doesn't work and pulling all-nighters doesn't work, because in order to form long-term potentiative memory, in your hippocampus, you have to be sleeping, and you form those memories at about 4 o'clock in the morning, about the time you start making hormones as well, interestingly enough. Okay, here's a book called Sleep Disorders and Sleep Deprivation, an Unmet Public Health Problem, 2006. So the whole book is right there, I believe. So you can look at this entire book free. So there's the website for that. NAP, nationalacademies.org, read sleep disorders and sleep deprivation. This one's fairly intense, and I have not read the whole book, but you've got like pretty much everything that you need to look at. Sleep physiology. So Why We Sleep by Dr. Walker is for the general public. This one is a little bit more intense. Okay, poor sleep quality affecting skin aging. This is from a paper that was presented in Cleveland, Ohio, in 2015, I believe. Published, well, 2013, 14, it was published. 2000, or it was given as a paper. 2015, this one was actually funded by Estee Lauder. And it turns out good sleepers had significantly lower intrinsic skin aging scores. At baseline, poor sleepers had significantly higher. You can read all the TEW, all that stuff, if you're into all that. And the conclusion that chronic poor sleep quality is associated with increased signs of increased intrinsic aging, diminished skin barrier function, and the interesting thing, lower satisfaction with the appearance or the physical attractiveness of a person's skin. Estee Lauder did that one. So you can see that poor sleep, I mean, that's a real quick run through, but sleep, adequate sleep is the very first factor that you have control over for the most part. If you need help, that's why they make health coaches like me. We figure out what's holding up your sleep pattern, what things that you can do. I have a whole article, actually 2 articles on poor sleep that I wrote about 3 years ago. And the practices for just sleep. This is practices for longevity, but the practices for just poor sleep, I call whatever gets you through the night. There is about 15 things that you can do to get ready for bed every night that will maximize the possibility that you get a full 7.5 hours of sleep. So that's our first strategy and practice over which you have control to increase your lifespan and your health span. So more importantly, your health span, a long and healthy, free of serious and chronic disease life. So stay tuned. Number 2 is coming soon. I'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye.